We are live.
Good afternoon. This is the February 22nd meeting of the CATEC board. I'm going to call this meeting to order, but I don't have the agenda right in front of me, which I should have in 2 seconds. So I just wanted to call the meeting to order, I think. First. Okay. So now we're going to do we do roll call every time? Okay, let's do the roll call.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Present.
and Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Great, thanks y'all. You see the agenda in the board book here. Does anybody have any questions or comments about it? Otherwise, let's move the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Okay. Great, so I guess we'll do a vote for that unless there's any conversation. Go ahead.
Ms. Carlson. Oh. Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
and Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Tomlin. And then I'm going to ask if we have anybody lined up for community comments or comments from the public.
No one has signed up.
Okay. Do we want to give it a minute to see? I don't know how anybody would sign up at this late date. Is that possible?
They usually do it by 10 a.m.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ms. Tomlin. Okay. Also welcome, Ms. Tomlin.
Thank you.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
We'll work together to make this happen. Okay, I'll go ahead and close public comment, and go to approval of revised meeting schedule. Did we want to talk about that for a second, Ms. Carter?
Sure. I was going to share my screen so I can just go over it really quickly with everybody. Because we had a budget, trying to shift the calendar around presenting our budget with some changes, we decided to meet today, February 22nd, and I'm proposing that it takes the place of the March board meeting. We've combined all the things that are needed into this agenda, and that will push our next meeting out till May. And the rest of the calendar mimics what was presented in the January board meeting. So this is the new proposed calendar.
Great. Thank you.
I will move that we accept this modified calendar of meetings.
Second.
Okay, any comments or suggestions, thoughts? Great. Go ahead and call the vote then, Ms. Tomlin.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
and Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Going back and forth on this. So then we are going to do approval of the minutes. Does anybody have any comments on the minutes? Okay. So hearing none, I'll accept any motions to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Torres.
Second.
Thank you. Other person that I don't know. Sorry, I can't see.
Judy.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Okay, closing that and we'll take a vote on the minutes.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yeah,
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
and Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
great. I am, let's see, approval of financial status. Any comments on that, Ms. Carter?
I don't have any comments. Everything is paid and there are no concerns on any of the documentation that was shared. And I recommend approval.
Okay, to the board. I'm accepting motions now for approval of the financial status.
I'll move, we accept the financial status.
Second. If hearing no discussion, we'll go ahead and have a vote on that.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
and Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so now we have the local plan. Ms. Carter.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. McKeever. I'm going to share my screen again. So annually, we are responsible for submitting a local plan to the Virginia Department of Education that outlines our CTE programming. So I'm proud tonight to share with you our 2023 local plan. And thinking back, reflecting on our last meeting, the local plan should give our new board members some more information about CATEC and some of our initiatives and how we address the requirements put forth by the state. In your board book, there's an Excel spreadsheet, and so would give you all of this information, but I've tried to condense it down into a digestible format. And so I will go through they're called schedules, and schedules are what we report on to the state. So one of the things they ask us about is schedule 3 and 5 is our plan of study. This year, the upcoming school year, we're really planning to focus on our EMT program. And we're doing some really exciting things in that program, including the integration of anatomy and physiology and the anatomy and physiology, where students can receive a science credit as well as their EMT credit. We've had the course reviewed by Katina Dudley and Megan Maynard, and they commented on how rigorous it is and how deep it allows our students to dive into the standards that are presented by the state for that science credit. We do address all aspects of industry as our students prepare for the National Registry exam. It's aligned with the CTE standards, and I think I just mentioned that it is a rigorous and relevant program. You all were very gracious in approving at the last meeting the purchase of the mannequin that you see in the picture there. And that allows us to provide some sophisticated technology. Emily Policia is the director of emergency preparedness for the city of Charlottesville, and she's on our foundation board. And when she heard about our mannequin and with the addition of the donated ambulance, she was extremely happy, because she said that our students would be some of the best prepared to enter the industry. Even they don't have the technology that we're presenting to our students, along with the access to an ambulance and that training ability. We do offer dual enrollment credits as well, with strong pathways to Piedmont for the paramedic program. We report on special populations. Special populations are students that have specific needs in our school, and so we do report those numbers. CATEC has 295 students this year. As you can see, we have 104 are designated as economically disadvantaged. That's about 35.25% of our student population. We have 25.42% or 75% of our students, or 75 of our students are students with disabilities. We have 1 student that's designated as homeless, 39 that are considered English language learners, are about 13.22%. We have 4 students that are in foster care, 3 with parents that are in active military duty. And we do not report it's not 0, but I have to put a 0 in, but we don't collect the information of a number of single parents. We have 20 students that are considered non-traditional. So non-traditional students are students that are underrepresented in areas. So for example, a male student in cosmetology or a female student in auto body or auto tech would be considered a non-traditional student. And we have 20 of those students. We also do not collect information on out of workforce individuals. So those are reported as 0. Schedules 4, 18, and 13 in the application really address ensuring access. And I have to say, one of the things that is the most important to me in my work at CATEC and anything that I lead is making sure that we are removing barriers and we are allowing students to access their education through whatever methods that we can provide. We spend a lot of our professional development on promoting culturally responsive teaching and learning, emotional regulation, being trauma informed, and supporting student needs. So coming back from the pandemic, we certainly realized and recognized that all of our students had experienced that level of trauma that came with so many months of upheaval. So we spent a lot of time this year talking about how to make our students feel safe back in school. We're working really hard on implementing standards-based grading. Our instructional leadership team is meeting bi-weekly, and we are having sessions monthly on implementing standards-based grading, learning how to do it, and also figuring it out logistically. Along with standards-based grading, we are also planning on implementing learning conferences so that our teachers can meet with our students, set goals, and then help them work toward them. One thing with career and technical education is that when students are working on a competency, they're on a rating scale, and we want that rating scale to be fluid. So as the student improves, so can their rating. And so that's what our learning conferences will facilitate. We've taken on the Courageous Conversations About Race, and we have a 6-session series that we're doing with the support of Leilani Keys and Jasmine Fuentes that are equity specialists with the county. We've purchased materials and support resources in native languages, and we have an ESOL family engagement specialist that supports our students when translation is needed or if they need support on assignments. We obviously participate in all opportunities to recruit at base schools, and we promote non-traditional success stories through our website and through social media. We provide access to academic courses at CATEC to reduce scheduling barriers, and we employ a school counselor, and as I mentioned, a family engagement specialist to help us reach families and make sure that students get their needs met. And we also have a student support team where we meet to discuss tiered systems of support around helping students that need something additional to access their classes or make sure that they are good at CATEC. Schedule 5 asks us to address strengthening academic and technical trades. One of the strongest pieces of our programming is the integration of academics into our trade courses. So this year was the first year that we offered geometry and building trades. And then, as I mentioned, anatomy and physiology is offered in EMT and in veterinary science. It really gives our students the opportunity to understand how these academic concepts fit into the real world. And we find that students really are able to much more deeply access that content through integration into our trade classes. We also, in addition to the integrated classes, we offer pull-out academic courses so that students can still get their trade, but get an academic class if they need them. Next year, we'll offer a pull-out version of AFDA, Economics and Personal Finance, 2 English classes, as well as US Government. Every course that we offer, all of our trade classes are offered in a sequence with an associated industry credential. So if we offer a level 1, we also offer a level 2, and in some cases we offer a level 3. Every single one of our courses has an associated industry credential that very likely is is a state or a national credential that will allow them to enter their field directly out of high school. We offer dual enrollment credit in 6 of our courses, and workplace readiness is integrated into every course at CATEC as well as throughout our school. So our students learn to practice workplace readiness skills such as work ethic, professionalism, conflict resolution, just the day-to-day skills that they need to be successful in a workplace. They practice them at CATEC school-wide and in their individual courses. Work-based learning that Shannon, who's on here, does an incredible job with and has for years in connecting with our businesses and also helping our students gain access to work-based learning opportunities. One of the ways that we prepare our students is that industry experts serve as our faculty members. All of our faculty members at some time or other have worked actually in the industry and really provide our students with a very rich educational experience. Of course, we bring in supplemental instructors when needed, guest speakers. We have strong advisory boards that give us feedback on our programs. And we have a lot of advocates and industry experts also on our CATEC Foundation board. Work-based learning opportunities are provided in every one of our programs. We have apprenticeships, internships, clinicals, job shadowing, as well as school-based experiences such as our food bus and our students in auto tech getting to fix cars there as well. They ask us to address technology, and technology is such an integrated part of life, and especially in education now, that it's hard to even sort of pick it out because there's a lot. It just is part of our daily routine. But we do leverage hybrid instruction in all of our pull-out academic offerings because our students come to us on a more limited basis in class. So hybrid instruction and technology, educational technology is really critical for that program. We have many of our programs offer ebooks and we leverage those as available. The mannequin that you all previewed at the last meeting, simulators and other industry training technology, we integrate as much as we can afford in any single program. Instructional technology is just part of our ethos, whether it's Google Classroom or Schoology, our teachers are utilizing instructional technology. We also work closely with our LTI or Learning Technology Integrator. She's on our instructional leadership team and she attends a lot of our meetings and helps us as well. Schedules 10, 11, and 14 ask us to comment on improvement, expansion, and modernization. We spend a lot of time looking at local workforce data. Recently, the state provided us a subscription to Jobs EQ, which gives us really condensed, very digestible reports on our local workforce data. We leverage CATEC advisory boards, as already mentioned, that are comprised of industry experts and in our local workforce. We've currently applied for an equipment grant to purchase the mannequin that you've approved. So if we get it, we'll purchase the mannequin as well as an electric vehicle simulator. If not, we'll just be getting the mannequin right now. But we do apply for equipment grants to try to modernize the spaces. We seek donations through our CATEC Foundation board and local businesses. I've also been working with Albemarle County and Charlottesville City's finance departments as we've developed a small CAP budget that you'll hear about that will help us make sure to improve spaces that are here and necessary for our students' instruction. We also visit local workspaces and other technical centers to see what the real world looks like and how other schools are doing it. Schedule 12 asks us to address secondary and post-secondary linkages, employment counseling, and placement services. We're so lucky here because all of our students have the opportunity to develop a resume with our career development specialist, who's amazing. She goes into every single classroom and our students build resumes. They also, through her leadership, get opportunities to do mock interviews, but also real interviews. Are going to have a interview week at the beginning of May where students will interview with actual companies that leads into our signing day. We do career inventories with our students to make sure that they are thinking about what they actually want to pursue. We help create a pipeline to adult education, community college, and or the workforce. And offer our students, as I mentioned, different work-based learning opportunities. At the end of April, Jason Amos is heading up our Skilled Trade Career Expo as we welcome our students maybe in Albemarle and Charlottesville that did not get to come to CATEC over to CATEC to learn about our adult education programs and apprenticeships and other real career opportunities that are there in our local community for them post-high school. A few other additional information, to share. Our annual performance report and allocations have not been released. So the numbers that are in the book, the board book, are based on last year's numbers, and I'll update those when they come. Last year, the Perkins funding provided by Albemarle County was $9,780, and Charlottesville City provided $6,422. That's calculated by the state from a formula that they use. And that is the local plan. Can I answer any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Carter on this local plan? And you're asking for action tonight, is that what I understand? Yes.
I am asking for action because we won't meet again until after the deadline.
Makes sense. Any questions?
No questions. Yep.
Looks really good, Stephanie. Thank you so much for that detailed explanation. And it really is positive the way you're moving our division forward, our CATEC forward in that way. So thank you. And I'm ready to take any motions around action on the local plan.
I move that we accept the 2022-2023 local plan for CATEC as presented.
Thank you. Great. Thank you, Judy. Appreciate that. Any discussion? Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Tomlin, with the vote.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. What is next? We have the VRS 457 plan. I mean, this has to be the most exciting thing on the agenda.
Well, it kind of is exciting if you want to plan for your retirement. It seems like a great opportunity. So the older you get, the more exciting these things sort of seem.
It's true.
So I have a little slide I'll share with you, but it doesn't contain a lot of information. But I will share just because it gives you a point of reference. The Albemarle County is proposing to their school board, I think tomorrow night, that they consider moving toward the VRS 457 deferred compensation plan. It's a deferred compensation plan that allows employees to prepare for retirement. And so we tried CATEC and we agreed to do that as well to follow Albemarle County's policies and procedures. And so I'm recommending that our center board approve us adopting this 457 deferred compensation plan if Albemarle County does as well. There's a resolution, and I had sent it to Mrs. McKeever and Ms. Osborne. Do you need me to send it again?
It's a great question. No idea.
I'm just going
So
to.
this is the resolution that we need in order to pass in order to make this possible?
Yes, if you will read the resolution, if this is what our center board feels is the appropriate thing to do, if you'll read the resolution, and then if we can vote on whether we will adopt it if Albemarle and Albemarle and the schools and the county do, then a contract will be forthcoming in April or May, I believe.
Okay, so just a question about this. So
Yes.
I have worked for the county, and I was just curious because I think I have a 457 and I have the whatever the other things are, So how is this different? Do we not, the schools not have that?
They do. They currently have a 457 plan through Nationwide, and they convened a committee that got together and looked at they began looking at different 457 options. The committee recommended that they review the VRS option, because that's currently it's a government to government plan, and they felt when they looked at it, they felt like VRS had a lot of credibility and felt like it was the best option to put forward for our employees.
Okay, I'm sending this to Lisa now so that she can read it. I think the final, because this is basically motion, so I can't do it, right? So, I mean, unless Ellen wants to do it.
I can do it. That's fine. I got it up.
Oh, you have it in front of you? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So this is with, I'm sorry, is there any other questions related to this? Thank you, Ms. Osborne.
Okay, whereas the CATEC acting by and through, and is this where we say Albemarle County,
I think so.
desires to adopt the Commonwealth of Virginia 457 Deferred Compensation Plan for its employees as defined in the adoption agreement between the employer and the Virginia Retirement System. And whereas the plan, which includes both Roth and traditional options, is authorized by the Code of Virginia, section 51.1 through 600 something, and sequential, and internal revenue code, section 457B, and political subdivisions are authorized to participate in such plan by the Code of Virginia, section 51.1 through 603.1. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the employer, CATEC, hereby approves the adoption of the plan for its employees in accordance with the applicable law and policy. And be it further resolved that the employer's staff is hereby directed to implement the plan effective the first day of after Albemarle approves it.
I think it's June 1st.
Okay. Implement the plan effective the first day of June 2022.
Yeah.
But no sooner than the date established and confirmed by the VRS. Now, therefore, the officers of the employer are hereby authorized and directed in the name of the employer to carry out the provisions of this resolution, enter an adoption agreement with VRS, and pay such sums as are due to be paid by the employer for this purpose.
Second. Okay, so any questions, discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. Ms. Tomlin?
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you guys very much. Thought I had my thing up, but I do not. Oh, I do. Capital improvement project request. Ms. Carter.
If you all will recall, in my initial budget request, I had included some one-time small capital improvement requests. There are two sort of big projects for CATEC that need to be accomplished. Through the guidance of our finance departments in Albemarle and in Charlottesville, we pulled those items out of our operating budget, and I am coming to you tonight to present a small cap budget request. We have a bathroom that's in our electricity lab that will be needed next year when that becomes a full-time program, and that needs to be repaired, and it's going to cost $35,000. And then we have a floor repair in the culinary arts classroom or lab. We're working with CCS facilities to have the repairs completed, and they're estimating the cost of that project to be $75,000, which is less than we had initially thought. But both of those projects together will run $110,000. I have spoken with, as I said, the finance departments in Albemarle and Charlottesville to secure this funding, or to see if the funding was available. And this is what we sort of came up with, was dividing the projects equally. I think initially I had asked for 42,000 from the school divisions, but once we got a real estimate on the floor, the request is now for $36,666 from Albemarle and Charlottesville schools.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. What questions do people have around the small cap budget details?
Yeah, Ms. Carter, so I would just, for my information and being newer on the board, can you explain like the process of who you speak with and then what that looks like, I guess, in our budget, speaking for Charlottesville City Schools?
I spoke with Dr. Gurley and Kim Powell. We spoke, and I don't know, I really can't respond to where the information, where it comes from your budgets. I don't know if Dr. Gurley wants to address it, or if we want to have Kim respond to it via email or something. I'm happy to do that. But I don't want to misspeak about, I don't know where it comes from.
Right.
And I spoke with Rosalind Schmidt in the county, and then she spoke with I think their project manager. And that's who I spoke to there.
Yes,
And
Ms.
again, I don't know
Torres,
where it comes out of the budget.
I can get Kim to, we did have a meeting. I forgot it was a few weeks ago, but we had a meeting and she did identify where we can assist with that to make room in the capital improvement.
So does that, when we're looking at our school budget, where is that reflected? Is that reflected in our CATEC dollars, or is that in a different area?
I think that there's some savings area from this school year, but I don't want to quote myself because I feel 70% confident on that, but it was a few weeks ago. But I can get her to respond to that really quickly for you.
Okay, but there were no concerns. I mean, we were good with that.
No.
Yeah.
That was an easy lift for us.
Okay. Yeah, if you would, that would be great. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions from anyone? Great. So this is an action item as well. So if anybody has any action they would like to take, this would be the time.
I can take action.
I'm like an action-oriented person, so thank you.
I know. Yeah, so I'll move that we accept the small cap request as presented.
Second.
Great. Thank you. Hearing no discussion or questions, I will go ahead and call the vote. Ms. Tomlin.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all for that. And then I guess fund balance transfer request, is that kind of part of this? Go ahead, Ms. Carter. I don't want to guess.
It is kind of a part of this. So just to give some background information, we have it's really a safety issue in the kitchen with the floor currently. And so I've been working with Scott Hendricks and Josh, I can't remember his last name, from the city's facilities, and they're helping us run this project. In order for us to go ahead and put the project out to bid, they are asking us to fund $75,000 to them so that they can go ahead and put the project out for bid. So I am asking the foundation board if they would be willing to approve a fund transfer. I can share my screen and show you the amounts. Excuse me. Be able to, so they will be able to actually put the project out for bid. And then the city and the county would have the opportunity to pay we would invoice and they would have the opportunity to pay this funding back by July 31st, between now and July 31st. So whether they want to use end of year funding or some other kind of budget, that was what was recommended. So you can see here that our fund balance the start of the year for this year was $790,550. We're proposing for next year $465,550. We, in our current operating budget, we have budgeted $200,000 from our fund balance. And after our appropriation, we would be down to $540,550. I'm asking to take $75,000 out of that funding. That would bring us down to $465,550. But that money we would get the money back, and that would bring us back up to where we're supposed to be, more around 300,000.
Are you showing us the correct screen, Stephanie?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm seeing the VRS thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not showing you the correct screen. Excuse me.
Just when you talk numbers, if we can see them, that's
Absolutely. I was hoping, can you see the numbers now? You can see the fund balance detail?
there we go.
Yeah. So anyway, you can see here, this is where we're at. We're here. We started the year with 790,000. We have 250,000 in our operating budget. That will bring us down to 540,550. We're asking to use 75,000 of that money that's there, which will bring us down to 465,000. When that moves over to next year and we use the 200,000 that we're proposing in our current operating budget, that will bring us down to 265,550, which is less than we really like, but we would like to invoice and get reimbursed from the county and the city on the agreed upon amount to bring, that will bring us back up to over 300,000, which is where we need to be.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. Any questions on the fund balance and this allocation? Great. So should we go ahead and make a motion to make this happen?
I move that we approve this fund balance transfer.
I'll second.
Second.
Great. Thank you all. Any questions or comments? Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Tomlin. We'll go ahead and vote.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Great. Thank you all. And I guess we're going to move on to the hot topic of funding request. So, Ms. Carter.
I share my screen again. I hope I can share it correctly this time. So I'm presenting tonight the 2022-23 budget proposal for CATEC. I presented originally on October 19th, 2021, and I'm making a revised presentation. I was presented on the 18th, and then I'm presenting another revision tonight. This budget is based on building the future of CATEC. Our goal really is to make sure that we are building a great program for our kids. We have students here that really want to pursue a career in trades, and it's our greatest hope to provide high interest, high demand programs that lead to great careers and pathways for our students. As you've already heard tonight, we are working really hard to integrate core academics, and we want to make sure our students have a really rich experience with work-based learning. We are seeking and supporting sustainable business partnerships because part of what we do is to help our local workforce develop. We embrace instructional practices that provide our students with rigorous and relevant classes. And we want to support our students through research-based structural support programming. We also really need to focus on increasing our enrollment while reducing barriers to access through things like our full day schedule and integration of academic classes. We need to improve our physical spaces, to make sure our students have the most relevant, up-to-date training opportunities. And then elevating program equipment to meet the current standards is also really critical and part of our budget request. So the actual funding request this year is $3 million, for a total of $3,685,853. This is an overview screen of each one of the lines, and I'm going to give you some details on each line. Here you can see classroom instruction. And I'm going to the classroom instruction line houses instructional personnel and thus has the largest increase. Included in the total classroom instruction is the addition of a building trades instructor. The addition of the building trades instructor is the culmination of the integrated math model and the construction trades and the breaking out of our programs from a condensed one-year program to a full two-year program. To offer building trades and electricity 2 next year, this position must be added. The reduction of one other instructor due to low enrollment and one instructional assistant brings the overall increase to $139,298, or 7.6%. Most of the increases in the classroom instruction line are for personnel. The office of the, you can see the technology total. We are requesting a $5,000 increase or a 25% increase as we're establishing a refreshment cycle for outdated technology. The office of the director line includes salaries for the director, assistant principal, and 3 clerical positions. The $44,115 increase in this line cover pay and benefit increases, as well as an increase in marketing. This line is increasing by 7.27% overall. The only change to the fiscal services lines outside of the small increase in purchase services for payroll processing are related to salaries and benefit increases. The total increase of $10,374 or 7.49%. There are no anticipated changes to vehicle operations. The building service line included salaries for custodial staff, but overall has a reduction of $46,561 or 10.89%. There's a small reduction in postal services due to decreased need. Additionally, we have decreased the COVID supply line due to recent changes and the space renovation budget, as this year's budget included some one-time expenses. There are no anticipated changes in either ground services or board and retiree lines. The only change in the maintenance management line is related to salaries for an increase of 7.96% or $6,638. Altogether, the CATEC high school budget totals $3,327,923, which is a $158,864 increase or 5.01% from last year's budget. That's just for the high school. CATEC's adult education program is a self-sustaining, fully funded program. Other than a few incidental expenses, CATEC's adult education program runs using the revenue generated through tuition. Next year, we anticipate a 9.90% or $32,251 increase in expenses. This line includes a few small decreases related to changes in the program manager position. Anticipated increases include the addition of instructional hours, database technical support, and technology purchases. Including adult education, CATEC's total budget is $3,685,853, which is a $191,115 more than last year's total budget. All of these budget lines are funded through various mechanisms. This budget includes $2,095,744 from Albemarle County Public Schools, or a 5.81% increase from last year's budget. Of note is the additional and subsequent reduction of the $36,656 ACPS provided to afford CATEC employees the 4% mid-year raise provided to all ACPS employees. $648,442 from Charlottesville City, or an increase of $34,804, or 5.67%. Excuse me. $214,599 from the fund balance, which is a $35,401 or 7.30 decrease from last year's budget. $494,031 from the adult education programs, or an anticipated increase of $105,293 or 27.09%. $69,500 will be provided from other funding sources such as state reimbursements, tuition, and other small revenue sources. Combined, we anticipate a revenue of $3,685,853, which is $191,115 more than last year, or a total budget increase of 5.47%. And I think it's worth noting that this budget increase of 5.47% includes a 9.2% pay increase for all of our employees. And that I respectfully submit this funding request to the Center Board.
Great, thank you, Ms. Carter. Appreciate your work on that and for bringing it to us for numerous times. What questions do people have? Now, don't all come at me at once.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Lisa.
So, Ms. Carter, what can you address the decrease in the COVID supplies? Is that because you have enough on hand and you don't need to buy any, or is that because just the requirements for what students have to do, or what is that about?
Going into this year, obviously, we didn't know all of what was needed, and I think we had a very heavy budget line for COVID mitigation, masks, hand sanitizer, all of the things that we knew were going to be needed. But as students came and they were wearing their own masks, or they had one from their base schools, somehow, we sort of also benefit from what's going on at base schools. We determined that we do not need nearly as much money as we had padded, and I don't know if padded's the right word, is that we had funded in that line. We just really didn't know. So we feel comfortable. That now that we will still have enough funding to provide what's needed to keep our students safe next year.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? Motions?
I'll move that we accept the budget as presented.
Okay, I'll second. Thank you all. Any other further discussion? Okey doke. I will go ahead and ask Ms. Tomlin to call the vote.
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I think you're muted, Jennifer.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Now I think we have the director comments.
I'm kind of excited to have director comments this evening because I want to share with you guys let me get to it, excuse me, that wanted to share something that we had go on recently. So I'm going to share this, which is really cool. So as we wrap up CTE month, I just really want to recognize the outstanding staff of instructors at CATEC. Recently, our fire science students had their live burn at the training facility out on Avon Street Extended. If you haven't seen the news progress article, I just wanted to share with you, these are our students. These are high school students. And they had this incredible opportunity where they get to go into a burning house and have this real experience. It's a multi-floor house and they have to climb ladders, and there are there's people, mannequins for them to rescue. And it's a real amazing experience. Later in the spring, these same students are also going to learn to scuba dive using search and rescue techniques. These are just a couple of the examples of the kinds of hands-on learning our students enjoy every single day that they're at CATEC. They don't get to go in a burning house every single day, but it's something that happens periodically. They have amazing life-altering experiences here, and that wouldn't be possible without our instructors. So I just wanted to take time on Career and Technical Education Month to recognize them. Career and Technical Education is about learning, but it's also about experiencing the world and truly learning a trade. Without our excellent instructors, that would not be possible. So I wanted to take a moment to thank them and to show you guys those pictures, because they were pretty incredible. Enrollment is open and seems to be going well. I'm very excited to share that we brainstormed a way to double our enrollment in 2 of our most popular programs and to not have to decline any students in Auto Tech 1 or in Electricity 1. This has been a problem that we've been facing since I arrived here almost 3 years ago. We will use a model where any student enrolled in a year 1 automotive class will take 1 semester of auto service tech and 1 semester of auto body. And then at the end of the semester, they'll switch. They will switch at the semester, allowing them exposure in both fields while doubling enrollment and increasing the pool for year 2. We follow the same model in the construction trades of building trades and electricity. So our students will get a lot of exposure in that field, and we will be able to serve twice the number of students. Friday is our second meeting in our CTE learning series. This was a brainchild of Dr. Haas and Mr. Henderson. And we'll present a student panel as well as information about apprenticeships to local businesses and workforce leaders, as well as ACPS and CCS administrators and school counselors. Dr. Haas and Dr. Gurley, I think, are tentatively able to join us. I know their schedules change at the drop of a hat, but they are planning to be here. And we're really excited to have them. The series has been a meaningful learning experience for all involved. And I'm really grateful to Megan Maynard, who's the lead coach for Albemarle County for CTE. She's been a powerful collaborator, and I was lucky to know her and work with her when we worked together at CHS many years ago. So she's just total knockout and amazing at her job. I'm also thankful to Jay Thomas, who is the Executive Director of Secondary Education, for making it happen as well. So this is an exciting experience, and I'm really grateful for all the support to get folks to CATEC and hear what we have to offer. And those are my comments. Thank you.
Great work, Stephanie. Thank you so much. Appreciate all that and all those fine people that you mentioned. So now we have other business by board and apprentice program manager. Adult ed and apprentice I'm sorry, those 2 are together. So
That's okay. That's me.
welcome.
Let me see if I can share my screen. All right, outstanding. Okay, so again, I just have 3 slides to show you, just talk to you about some enrollment numbers that we have going on right now for the program. So I did a little bit of a change from last briefing to this briefing, where I kind of gave you just the fall and the spring and the difference. Previously, I had 2 slashes on the left-hand side for the fall, which was originally the enrollment, and then the drop numbers after the students had dropped. So I just cleaned it up a little bit for you, try to make it a little bit simpler. Key takeaways here is overall for the last reporting period to this reporting period, we've recovered quite a bit. As far as total enrollment goes, from the fall, we had 162, and now we're at 161 right now for in-person classes. So that's good news. Over here on the left, you see CNA and RMA kind of faded with orange and blue, and I'll get to that here in a few minutes on what that means. Unfortunately, we had to take away or cancel the EMT course because of only 2 people signing up. I need at least 7 to be able to hold the course. But we really tried hard to be able to do a recruiting push for our healthcare programs, amongst all of our programs, but our healthcare programs as they're coming up here with another CNA course next week, and then following on with a CNA course and an RMA course in the next month. So any questions on this slide? All right. Okay, this slide looks bad, but there's reasons behind it. The reason is because our fall enrollment numbers, as you can see, are pretty high. However, to be able to move on to the next iteration of that apprenticeship course, those courses end in April, the middle to late April. So I anticipate that our spring numbers will jump in end April. And that's the reason, because those people will be finishing either electrical 1, 2, or 3 and moving on to the next course, if that makes sense. Any questions on this slide? Okay. All right. And then last but not least, some key accomplishments, as I mentioned before on slide 1, was we had an increase in about 35 enrollments from last month to this month. We're continuing to enroll students on the online apprenticeship programs because I can enroll them at any time, which is different from the in-person classes. And then some big news that we have coming out this week is that we are establishing a memorandum of agreement with UVA Health to be able to potentially fund full tuition and text for our upcoming certified nurse aide and registered medication aide classes. So maximum of 40 seats available, so about $40,000 that could potentially come into the adult education program for the April and the May classes, respectively. Key initiatives going on. Ms. Carter mentioned that we had the Building Trades Expo coming up on the 28th of April, and I've got a brochure that I'll show you quickly after that. But to prime the area, I'm doing a high school roadshow, reaching out as far as Louisa and Fluvanna High Schools, Nelson County High School, Greene County High School, and then closing in Albemarle County, Monticello, Western Albemarle, and Charlottesville, to be able to meet with those schools and perhaps take maybe an hour of time during the lunch period or something that I'm organizing to be able to meet with individuals that may be interested in CATEC as a career and building trades as a career. So really advertising those programs that we have to offer, and then showcasing our Building Trades Expo to get all interested applicants signed up for the 28th April Expo. And then the last but not least thing that we have going on is, with all of these nursing facilities that are around, hospitals, medical treatment facilities, we have posted on our careers page a CNA instructor. We have lots of opportunity to be able to push out students and get them the training they need for these healthcare programs. But I just need to find more CNA instructors. So that's one of the things that I'm really working on. And I think if I can get another one on board, I have the ability to be able to at least have 2 to 3 more classes and add to our healthcare portfolio, with being able to help out these local businesses in the area to provide CNA and RMA students. So that's what I have as far as my slideshow. I just wanted to show you. I know, Mr. Morris, you said that you were interested in the nail tech program, or at least maybe your wife or girlfriend was. So I'll make sure that I send you an email with an application.
Oh, that was for a student, so she's already in. She's already in. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right,
so.
too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad. I'm sorry. I was trying to get another enrollment. But here's our brochure that we're pushing out to all the guidance counselors and also social media with our Skills Trade Expo on the 28th of April. We're really highlighting all of our trades, but we have an in-person cosmetology program that we're starting up in the fall. This has been a program that we've had in the high school for quite some time, but we are starting up a in-person adult education cosmetology program. And I really want to make sure, because I've had a lot of interest in that. We currently hold an online apprenticeship for cosmetology, but I've had a lot of people that have been interested in an in-person, and now we have the opportunity to be able to have that program installed in the fall. And hopefully we have high enrollment for that program, as well as all of our other classes that we offer for adult education and apprenticeship. So does anybody have any questions for me? If they don't, then that's all that I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your report here. Anybody have any thoughts or questions that they'd like to present to Mr. Amos? Okay, so again, thank you. Moving on to other business. And this is other business by board and superintendents. I have nothing. Superintendents have anything?
Nope, I don't have anything.
I don't have anything either. Thank you.
Okay, great. Board members, comments, questions? Okie doke. So now we're going to go into, we're going to take a motion to go into closed session, and then we will click on the other link, which will allow us to go into closed session and exit this link. Does that make sense for everybody? And I don't know who has I think Ellen, do you have the closed session motion?
I have the certification at the end. I don't have the motion to get there.
It should be on the same email, I think, but maybe not. So
I have the one for coming out of the meeting.
yes, I think Shannon, that was there's not two on there. This is all the well, I can't make the motion, but Stephanie, do you mind sending that out to Ellen for me? Or Ms. Tomlin?
Yes, I'll look for it and send it right to
Okay.
you.
Sorry about that. It's just the one that says that I moved and cites the personnel
Right.
statute. And if anybody else has it, feel free to.
Jennifer, then are we coming back to this or not?
Yes,
Okay.
after the meeting, we have to close the meeting here and then,
Okay.
so. Okay, I have something from ages ago, and so I'm just gonna forward that to Ellen. There you are. Right on top. Okay, so they should be attached to the email I just sent you, Ellen. Shannon, I just used one of Leslie's old ones, okay?
Okay, it's not here yet.
Okay, but it's actually, it says, this one is for subsection 3 and subsection 5 and subsection 8. So that doesn't help because this is just personnel.
We can't say I moved it. Oh, wait, here it is. It is here.
Actually, I'm going to forward you an even simpler one.
Okay.
Okay. So this one is a 2.23711A of the Code of Virginia, if you want to. Stephanie, when is it? Okay, you got it, Ellen?
Yep.
Thanks.
Just popped in. Okay, I move that the CATEC Center Board go into closed meeting as authorized by the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, Section 2.23711A of the Code of Virginia, under subsection 1 for the discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment and the assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body.
Second.
So I guess we have to do a roll call vote for going into closed session. Ms. Tomlin?
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and leave and then click on the other link for the closed meeting. Thank you guys so much.
Anthony, are you still there?
I am.
Hey, I just saw your message. I don't remember a Jared.
He taught electricity.
Jared. How
Jared.
long ago?
This was when I was here, and I remember the funniest thing was we did one of those white elephant parties,
Yeah.
and Jared got something really good, and Norm Cooper said, when given the choice of what he was going to do, was he going to pick something fresh? He said, "I'm going to Jared," just like the commercial. I just remember thinking how funny that was. That's always stuck with me.
Jared, I can't even picture who that is.
He was here the same time Jason Ritter was here. If you remember Jason Ritter.
I remember Jason Ritter, but I don't remember a Jared.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, okay. I just saw your message and I was like, I don't even know who a Jared is.
Yeah, back in the day.
They all start blurring together.
Well, I know that's what you get when you hang around someplace this long and you get the turnover. For the
I
longest
know.
time, it must have seemed that everybody was just going to stay here. You know, it was all the same cast of characters, and then it just changed.
Yep.
Probably
it
a
just
couple
keeps
times now.
changing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to beat Paul Johnson.
You're on track.
I don't think I'm going to, though.
Well, some records are best left untouched, right?
That's right. That's right.
Don't burn yourself out just trying to get there.
I'm counting down 57. I can make it to 57 and then retire with my 30 years of service and live happily ever after. Be a Walmart greeter.
There you go. Okay, looks like people are coming back already.
You're muted, Ms. McKeever.
Sorry about that. Any other comments? With no further comments, I'm going to call us adjourned with no objection.
I think we got to do the closed meeting certification now.
Is that Ms. Coulson?
No, that's Ellen.
fine.
Oh, hey, Ellen. Yeah, let's do yes, please do that then.
So I move that the board certify that to the best of each member's knowledge, that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Second.
Great. Okay, now we can do a roll call about that. Ms. Tomlin?
Ms. Carlson, Ms. Larson Torres,
Yes.
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
Ms. McKeever,
Yes.
Mr. Morse,
Yes.
and Ms. Osborne.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, y'all. Hearing no objections. This is your opportunity to object. We're going to stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Stay
night.
safe.
Bye, y'all.